I'm Bill Kimball, and I'm the executive director with Public Energy Performing Arts. And we're hosting Bill Coleman and Gordon Monahan at the Market Hall Performing Arts Center this week. Say hello, guys. Bill.
Hello.
Hello. All
Hello.
right. Thanks. So Bill is the movement guy in this, and Gord is the sound and audio art guy.
Okay. Well, what they're going to see is they'll see both of us, but essentially they're going to see me plugged in, and I'm going to go through various movement forms. Some very minimal, some tap dancing, and then some sort of big, bold moving, really moving in space.
Right.
And accompanied by each one will be the simultaneous sound of my brain waves, either playing lights, rotating sound, playing a piano, or
Wow.
duetting with the snare drum and a cymbal.
Wow. So Gord, you've made the connection between Bill's brainwaves and all the lights and sound.
Yeah. So we're kind of picking up from the what's become now, I guess you could consider the traditional beginning in the 1960s, traditional experimenting with brainwaves and music and interactive sound,
Right.
pioneered by Alvin Lucier, David Rosenboom, and Richard Teitelbaum. So we're kind of, I guess, picking up where they left off and doing our own adaptation and interpretation with it. Of course, the technology has come along a great deal since those days. We no longer have to do a lot of homemade interfacing. So we're using actually even when Bill said he's plugged in, it's actually plugged in wirelessly. His brainwave interactive equipment is fastened onto his head with a simple sort of strap, and that transmits through Bluetooth to my laptop, and then I'm using Max MSP software to manipulate those brainwaves to control various different functions. That's the simplest way, is just multiplying the incoming brainwave so that then we hear it as it is coming out of the loudspeakers.
Okay. So let me ask Bill, how do you have a way of generating brainwaves that are different?
Yeah.
Like lower brainwaves or bigger brainwaves?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty noisy in here, Gordon. I got to tell you. Yeah, so there's certain brain waves that are just going all the time. You know, there's certain delta waves and things where it's just this sort of noise that you can't control. And then there's we also deal with alpha waves, which are either in deep meditation or in sleep, where they're sort of these strong waves. So what I do is I manipulate my alpha waves. So if I'm dimming the lights by going into an alpha state, I get the snare drum and the cymbal going by I tap dance, and then I try to go into alpha state, and that stimulates the snare drums, things like that. So I'm kind of I'm also doing it dancing. Normally you've got to be asleep or on top of a mountain or something. So I'm sort of doing it in fancy red shoes and a jacket, standing up, tap dancing. So it's a little virtuosic, sort of going into those kind of very far off states while you're standing in front of a bunch of people with a velvet jacket on.
Right. But you're not going to go to sleep on us, are you?
I hope not. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, Gordon has a bucket of water just in case. No, I don't go to sleep. It's just a matter of when you're dancing sort of fully, you're not really thinking too much because there's sort of too much going on. So it's you're in this kind of animal jellyfish state as you're kind of going in, and that partially has sort of acclimatized me to accessing this state.
I think to go into the true alpha state and controlling that, you kind of need to be in a meditative state. But then if you're adding movement to it, you're kind of coming in and out of what you would look at on the data screen being sort of chaotic versus controlled.
Wow.
So you're kind of crossing over between those two states as well. If Bill isn't completely in control of his alpha waves, we can still use whatever data is coming down the stream.
It gets out of hand sometimes. So, we've got a fire extinguisher.
Good. What I'm describing is we want to have both conditions crossing between them.
Well, what about, right.
We have different outcomes.
Do we need any medical personnel on hand? I don't know.
Gordon's got his St. John's ambulance. Gordon used to be a vet, so he's got his animal husbandry degree. So that's been working out pretty well.
Okay. Yeah. Well, good. I feel much better now. All right. I'm curious about how long you guys have been working on this, because I remember, didn't you go to McMaster University and work on this in their, I don't know, what department was that? Their mind bending department?
Psychology department.
Right. I sort of connected. Yeah, I connected with McMaster University years ago. They actually came and saw a dance performance and sort of said, "Oh, we'd like to do something at Live Lab." And then I took a sort of, I sort of went through a process of trying to figure out what they were able to do or what they were interested in. It's a bit complicated working with the main researcher. But we find that Gordon ended up to be the golden ticket, where he sort of came in and was able to communicate with them and do something that they thought was interesting, rather than just look at brainwaves of dancers.
So we learned how to use the technology, and then we were able to find out that we could actually get our own portable brainwave equipment.
When we started at McMaster, we were sort of told that we'd only be able to do this kind of work in their $50 million facility. And then a year and a half later, Gordon sort of figured out how to do it on his laptop.
Is there anything else you guys want the audience to know about what they're going to?
If you don't see it this time, there's no telling when we'll be back. So catch
this
it
brain's
now.
not going to last forever.
Or you may have to travel further to see it live the next time. So now's your chance. Thanks for inviting us. We're really happy to be here to do our first live show.
And this is the first live in-person show at the Market Hall since March of 2020.
And everyone's
congrats. All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.